Of selling something or hyping something that hasn't come out. When I was contacted about this panel, the joy of it is that you guys know exactly why you're here tonight. You already know that you like Kung Fury, and I know I like Kung Fury, and so this is nothing but pleasure. So thank you so much for being here. It is exciting. I want to bring out the guy that first contacted me about this, Seth Grahame-Smith.
All right, Seth.
You know Seth from Pride and Prejudice and Zombies and Abraham Lincoln Vampire Killer, but Vampire Hunter. He is also, of course, part of presenting this for us today. But we have a big panel, so let's continue to bring people out, including the cast, starting with Jorma Taccone, who played Hitler.
Oh, wow.
We also have a Lenny Young here, who is Barbariana.
All right. Love it.
I got a little giddy when I met this guy backstage. Andreas Colling is here. Welcome Thor to the stage. We also have, of course...
Get it, Daddy, get it! Woo! Flex Forum!
Okay. All right, and then we would like to bring none other than Hackerman.
Uh-oh.
Pop himself. No pun intended.
All right.
Director and Kung Fury himself to the stage.
Woo! All right.
I know many of you were excited to possibly see the Hoff here, but he is unfortunately recovering from emergency knee surgery.
Wow.
So cannot join us. So let's wish the Hoff a quick and speedy recovery.
Okay.
And now, so the first thing we're going to talk about is, this is one of the things at Comic-Con that we find over and over is that projects here are driven by passion. Passion from fans, passion from people who make them. When you look at Kung Fury, it is clearly the work of somebody who has digested and loves and lives and breathes pop culture in a very specific way. So I'd love to hear something about where this began for you and how all of this ended up in one insane and wonderful package.
Well, it started like 3 years ago. I was at the time very into 80s music, so I was listening to a lot of Mitch Murder, and yeah, he's great. And he, just listening to his music got all of these images in my head, and I felt like for a long time I wanted to do something with dinosaurs, robots, and cops. And I felt like the 80s decade was perfect for that. And Mitch inspired me with his music, so I wrote the script for Kung Fury, and no one really understood what I was doing. But I was I was determined to do it. I worked on it for 2 years. Then I did the Kickstarter, and that was such a relief for me because, finally I could show people what, I had in mind. And it was such an incredible success, like way over any expectation that I had. So yeah, it was incredible.
I think this is one of those cases where as soon as you see it, you get it. And I would imagine describing it to somebody must be incredibly hard.
Yeah.
So when the Kickstarter went up, in addition to just the reaction from people that were funding, what other reactions did you get? Did you get responses from people who wanted to help or who wanted to be in some way part of it?
Yeah, all of a sudden, you know, things changed. At the time, you know, I had tried to raise money for it in different ways. And there's some institutions, I won't name the name, but I had searched money at different institutions and they were like, this is stupid, no. But then after the Kickstarter, they were like, yeah, totally, Hitler's great, you know? So, you know, things changed in a very big way. And
Disney, you guys. It wasn't.
Yeah, and that was one of the great moments too, like when I emailed Jorma, because we met in LA, and you were like, hey, we can help you out if you want. And we were like,
Well, I gave you $200. About the Lonely Island, $200.
What did he say to you though? You told me back there, you said, David said, don't take this the wrong way, but...
Well, no, it was, I mean, I literally just was a fan of, the trailer was so great and it was so right up my alley that I just wanted to give him $200. I hope, I think we should have given more, honestly. And then we wrote you an email, and then you wrote me back quite a ways after that, because he had a lot of emails, I think, at that point. And then 2 months later, he called me and he was like, hey, don't take this the wrong way, but I think you might make a really good Hitler. Oh yeah, like whenever you want me.
You did though.
Yeah.
A great Hitler.
Oh, thanks.
All right.
It's such a specific comic voice that this thing has, and it's not played winking at you the entire time. It's played in such a way that the energy is like really fun and enthusiastic and sincere. So for you as cast to step in, how clear were you about what he was trying to do and what you wanted to do with it?
I mean, this was so right up my alley because like we vibed out really hard because like I made a movie called MacGruber, which is a very similar tone in terms of like it's not winking at like anything. It's really, you don't know. I wasn't right. That was me fishing, you guys. I went fishing. I caught a couple fish.
The director of MacGruber, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
The other greatest movie of all time.
But like we vibed out super hard. Just like he's it's a very similar tone. We clearly like the same things. I mean, what is the impetus for the tone in particular of not winking and how sincere it is? Because it's a super sincere.
yeah.
And the fact that you're from Sweden, I was like, I had no idea.
You know, I wanted to seem like the writer. I didn't want it to be like too self-aware, so I wanted to be like, the writer is really stupid, but he thinks that this is the coolest thing. That was the point I was going with.
I definitely got that when I received the script and I was all, fuck you, can't do it. It was just. That's right up my alley.
Good writing. In terms of putting it together, it's really sophisticated. And I think there's a lovely feel to it. It really works on an effects level, and the world that you create is so much fun. Had you done stuff before this to rev up to this? The short test was one thing, but to see the whole thing put together, you really pulled it off with a plum.
Well, I had worked as a visual effects artist for many years, and prior to releasing the trailer, I had worked for a very long time as a director for music videos and commercials, and my idea was, if I do enough commercials and music videos, then maybe I can do a movie someday. But that never happened. It just got more and more work. So I got to a point where I just quit doing that and I need to do my own thing. And the first thing was, confusing. I'm completely blown by how well it went,
That I find fascinating is we live in an age now where, it used to be that if something was theatrical, it would be a big deal, or if it was on TV, it was a big deal. And really, at this point, content it will find a way to reach its audience if it's the right thing. And the audience found you, and you found the audience. And so, are you gratified with the way it has gone around the world? And have you been excited to see how people have responded to it in other places?
Yeah, I was so blown away by the fact that nobody knew who I was, but they were still willing to support and give me money, essentially. And that was the most surprising thing to me. I really believed in the project, but I was still very hesitant because nobody knew who I was or anything. So that was the thing that shocked me the most. When we released the Kickstarter, after 24 hours, we reached our goal of $200,000, and it's insane. So yeah. And now
money.
At Comic-Con,
All right, get it. Hammer time.
Okay, so this is not the Thor that we necessarily know from the last few years, but a great Thor. Can you talk about finding your cast?
So I was browsing Reddit and I saw an image of Andreas. He had posted a selfie. And I was searching for a bodybuilder with a really big beard.
That's the right card. There you go.
Most don't have any body hair. I saw Andreas and I was like, man, he's perfect. So I figured out who he was, and I figured out his email, and I emailed him, and he was really excited. So he was like, why did you?
All right.
It's I sent you an email, and it's I waited 2 weeks, I think, and then you responded, and you were very, thought it sounded cool, I guess. What was your experience?
I flew over. It was an incredible journey to board, and it's an incredible journey to travel on.
Amen. All right.
I told David early on, because I was crazy enough to believe this, I said, this will become a cult classic.
So now, what did you have to show them when you got ready to start shooting? Because so much of this is put together in post, and so much of this depends on the final rendering of it. So what did you show them? What were you able to convey to them about the world that you were creating?
Well, Andreas, at that time, I didn't have anything to show him. I just sent him a voiceover clip of Thor I had recorded with the guy who plays the police chief.
Okay.
He had recorded some Thor lines, so that was the only cool thing that I could show at the time. But I guess, I was super passionate about it, and I really wanted him to do it, so I worked on that email for a really long time, sell it in, So I think, it worked.
And then,
wait, how'd you get Eleni to do it?
Well,
How did you convince her?
I said to her, you would be a really good Barbariana, and she was like, no. And then we put on the costume, and I was like, man, this is awesome. She was still like, no. But I don't know.
What changed your mind?
I don't know if I have changed.
wow.
Let's bring out, now that the technical difficulties have been settled, let's bring out Leopold Nilsson, Hacker Man. So, this...
By the way, can I just say real quick, like, me and Seth have been on a couple of these panels before. This is the best one I will ever be on.
All right. Colorful cast.
So in terms of, then once you put it together and you released it, did you expect for things to happen as quickly as they did in terms of it blowing up? Because it was everywhere. It felt like almost overnight.
I hoped it would be big, but I was really nervous when I posted the trailer, and nothing happened within the first 5 hours. And I was so depressed because I had worked on this for 2 years. I was like, damn it. And I was so broke. I had already sold my couch, my TV, just to be able to work on this. And I was like, man, I was living at my mom, and she was like, you gotta get a job. And I was like, yeah, I probably will. But then one of the cinematographers, Jonas, came into the office, and I was sitting there, I was so depressed, I was like, fuck. My whole plan was to post it on Reddit, but the link that I posted didn't take off. So I'm like, damn, that was my only plan. And then he was like, no, it's gonna work itself out. Don't worry about it. I was like, you're an asshole.
Oh wow.
But then I was browsing Reddit a few hours later, and I saw the link to the trailer, and I was like, oh, there's the damn trailer again. And I realized it was on the second page, and then 20 minutes later it was on the front page, and after that it just exploded all over the internet, and yeah, it was insane.
All right. Clap, clap.
I think there's a huge difference between somebody who's, in a cynical way, trying to take advantage of nostalgia and the things that we all kind of collectively remember, and then somebody who has genuinely digested it, and it's part of your DNA, and it is clear that this was not a calculated commercial, I'm going to do this because it will get me more work and jobs. You could have never predicted what this thing would turn into.
Yeah.
So for you, the joy of it now, when you run into people who have seen the film, what is the excitement of it? Have you had people walk up to you and just be thrilled that you're here and that they get to meet you guys, that you're actually tangible and they can meet Thor and...
Yeah, it's amazing. I met 7 Cancurs just here at Comic-Con. It's a very strange situation to be in, but it's awesome. I mean, it's way over anything I could ever have imagined. And it's just, really, really cool.
Well, I want to make sure that you guys have a chance to ask some questions as well. And I can't believe we filled this room, and thank you so much, guys, for being here. So, guys started. I guess we're going to do it from right here in the middle. Excellent. You just moment before they bring that up.
Hello? Oh,
There we go.
First I want to say hi, David.
Hi.
I love the film.
Nice costume.
Oh, thank you. So first I want to ask,
Nice little line there.
with the whole fandom just blowing up, as you guys are saying, is there anything in specific you're surprised to see, from cosplay to fan art? And that's from each of you.
Yeah, I'm surprised every day when I see new artwork being created by incredibly talented people. It's very, very surreal. Just meeting someone dressed up as a character that you created, and while you created it, it was like you didn't have any money, so just put together something that's kind of really cheap. Emulate that.
All right.
It's a very strange thing, but it's awesome, you know. So yeah, it's just awesome.
I will say that I'm pretty offended that more people aren't dressing up like Hitler. Like, why not? Why wouldn't you? Great character.
Yes, okay, so next up.
Hi, my question is, you know, the movie was about the 80s. Are you planning on doing any other films about maybe the 70s or 90s? Are you a fan of those eras too?
I want to do all kinds of different movies. This just happened to be my first project, and it's set in the 80s, but you know, I love movies, and I would love to do all kinds of different genres and settings and stuff like that. So, yeah, I love movies.
Has this opened that door for you, David? Are you starting to meet people who have seen Kung Fury who are excited about finding things that they can do with you?
Yeah, like I've been getting lots of scripts and different things, but mostly now it's been, my focus has mainly been finishing the short, and now it's all about making the feature film.
Yeah. Every time.
All right, so watching the movie, it was pretty evident you weren't afraid to take on some pretty ridiculous things like Triceracop and hacking the bullets out of Kung Fury. I was wondering, in the initial script, were there any ideas that you thought were like too ridiculous to put in, or did you just kind of go for whatever?
You know, I tried to have a backstory for every character and sort of make it sense of the craziness. The only thing that I felt like, okay, this does not make any sense whatsoever, but I thought it was so funny, and that's Triceracop.
I think there's actually one Triceracop costume here in the audience.
Yeah. Really?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't get that one.
I like that the answer to that question was no. There was no idea. He didn't just put it right in there.
So, since you made the film and it's a global phenomenon, what's the craziest Hollywood story you have now that you've gone through it?
I'm meeting Steven Spielberg on Monday. That's pretty much it.
All right.
Didn't expect it.
Follow your dreams, guys.
All right.
Can do it. Anybody
That's right.
can be Steven Spielberg.
There you go.
Hey guys, I'm from Puerto Rico, and it's funny that he was saying that he clicked and the upload, and because I was like the 2000th person to watch the video. I don't know how I get it for in Facebook, and it was reached the whole other part of the world in the Caribbean. You know, it's and I just say that you have to pursue your dreams. I just sold everything that I had in the island to come here to make. I'm an actor, writer, and the thing is that you're telling about people getting involved in your projects. I would love to to do a Spanish version, like the dubbing. I have a crew of people. I'm an American actor, thanks God. Your Thor is the best Thor ever. Chris Hemsworth sucks.
All right. Woo! All right.
The question is, how do you, from Switzerland that you're from, right? Sweden. Sorry. It's my English. It's not very good. You're coming from the Europe, and how do you reach and find this talented people like Jorma and Andrea, Eleni, and the Huff. How do you make that happen?
Well, Leopold is one of my best friends. He's a really cool dude.
Okay.
I asked him if he wanted to play Hackerman. Like, Leopold is really actually beautiful in real life. He's like a main model. He's modeled for H&M and like Marc Jacobs and stuff. But I thought it would be kind of funny to make him really ugly.
I actually asked, like, just yesterday, like, how come you asked me? Because I didn't know, like, and he was just, I knew you had a slight lisp. It was very honoring.
The best of friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was really hard at first gathering the people. I searched for several months to find the right Thor, and yeah.
All right.
Really glad that he jumped on board. And with Jorma, like, we are, you know, the first time we met them, it's like, it felt like meeting an old friend, you know. It's like, it just fit in the, it's like a, how do you say it? Like a hand in a glove.
Hand on my boat?
But yeah, like with the Hoff, I mean, he's such an 80s geek. When I first met him, he was wearing the Knight Rider jacket. The only thing he talked about was Knight Rider. And I'm so bummed he couldn't be here, but like, he's such a cool dude, and you know, he told me that he watched like 10 seconds of the trailer, and then he was like, yeah, I'm in, you know. Yeah, I don't know how, I'm still like surprised how it all came together, but you know.
I do think when you make something that feels as pure as Kung Fury, and it's clearly done out of love, and it's done really well, people show up, you know, and people show up for a lot of things lesser than that. Like anything that you're working on, like friends, family, everybody shows up when you produce something, and it's just important to make things and keep making them, honestly. But people love being involved in projects, and this is a really cool project. I didn't see anything more than the trailer, and was like, anything you need. Like anything that he was like from the trailer, you can tell like this dude knows comedy timing, he knows production, he knows like these are really funny jokes, something. But you see something like that, and you're just like, yeah, like you want to get involved.
And also, passion is infectious, and you can sense from watching 2 seconds of the trailer that there's passion behind it, which I think is key, because you heard David say he sold his possessions, he moved in with his mother to make this movie, and you know, when you have someone who shows a willingness to put it all on the line just because they believe in something so much, you get swept up in that.
Yeah, even though he lied about all of that.
Yeah.
None of that.
He's extremely wealthy.
Next up, yes.
One thing I always speak with my IT friends is that when hacking is depicted in big productions, clearly Hollywood doesn't have any idea how technology works.
Yeah.
And since Trinity Matrix, Hackerman is the best hacker ever made into the movie.
All right.
He actually inputs commands into a terminal. And I wanted to ask, what's like your inspiration for Hackerman, and is it totally your idea, David, or Leopold brought something a lot into it? How Hackerman came into being?
Well, I love 80s technology. I just love the aesthetic of it, and also I watched some CSI. I was like, it would be funny to take this to another level, you know. So that was basically the inspiration for it.
Yes.
So one of the first videos I saw right after Kung Fury was Hackerman's How to Hack Time tutorial. And in it, he said he was hacking back a 3.5-inch floppy disk drive. But what I noticed is that I think it was actually a 5-inch floppy drive.
Oh, wow.
So my question here is, for hacking back time, is it essential to lie about the size of the
Is there a prize for the best question?
Comic-Con, just a panel? That's
They actually both work. That's actually like a very blatant writing mistake. Like I just don't know the American measurement system. I didn't know.
Nice.
I just didn't know.
Hilarious.
And a very good answer.
The role of King Fury obviously required a lot of master of the martial arts expertise. So my question to Mr. Sandberg is that when you were doing like a bunch of the stunts, have you done stunts before? Have you learned any professional work, or were you just doing amateur makeup through the film?
Actually, the first thing I did was, you know, I had this idea about dinosaurs and cops and, you know, whatnot. And the first thing I did was, I put a piece of paper and I wrote down a bunch of cool words, like volcano, like justice force, like just stuff that I thought sounded cool. And one of the words was kung fu, and another one was fury. And then it just like clicked. Kung Fury. But, you know, I was like, this I have to do, but I don't know Kung Fu. But like, I have to do this, you know. So what we did, we brought in a stunt double. And actually, Eos, he's sitting right there. He's the guy he's a stunt coordinator. Give him a big hand.
Cool.
And who actually plays Red Ninja.
Yeah!